Recently we were talking about Bob Dylan's Blonde on Blonde.
Yes.
And you said it's a great album except for one song. And that song would be...
Rainy Day Women, number 12 and 35, also known as Everybody Must Get Stoned.
Yes.
Which is a fun song. It's a single. It doesn't belong on the album.
It's not a bad song.
No.
It's just a song that once you listen to it once, you don't want to listen to it anymore.
Yeah, I get the point of it.
And it doesn't help that it comes right before Visions of Johanna, which could be argued to be Dylan's best song.
It does not come right before Visions of Johanna.
Damn it!
Visions of Johanna is track 4.
So why get stoned when you can have visions? Are those boxes?
Yes!
Oh, we better unbox them here on Unboxing, where we unbox all the boxes. We also thank our donors, people who go to welcometothebasementshow.com and contribute to help support this show, either with a one-time or a rolling monthly donation.
People like these people.
Marie, Stephanie, Michael, Mario, Jennifer, Ann, Ashton, Zach, James, Andrea, Maura, Melanie, John, Abigail, Adam, Emily, Mitchell, Ralph, Gail, Mike, Bernard, Alfred, Eric, Brian, Kelly, Illustrations, RPC Services, Shelby, Patrick, William, Reed, Andrew, Joseph, Anthony, Lindsay, Jeff, David, Andrea, Abraham, Luke, Pop Liturgy, and Lucas.
Thank you all.
A quartet of postcards for your reading pleasure. This is from Antonio in Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey.
Amazing stories. Long-time viewer, first-time mailer. I love your movie reviews and recommendations. Scream Blackula Scream is one of my favorite episodes. If I had to pick a favorite, it would be Car Wash. No one ever picks those two episodes as their favorite. This is very happy for me to read. You guys add zeal to everything. Have you seen Fritz Lang's M? Yes, I have.
Yes, I have too. Twice.
A very scary movie. I don't think I could watch it again. Sean over there in Canada, over in Bellingham, Washington, for Sarah's brother's wedding. We just came from a beer garden where we watched the U.S. women's soccer team defeat England. With an exclamation point. I don't know if he's upset or happy.
He's caught between the United States and England, as Canada always has been.
Thanks as ever for the basement.
Bellingham, Washington.
Ooh, that one was warped. That's why it flew so weirdly.
No. There was a girl I knew from Bellingham once. It went about that well.
This is Jack in St. Joseph, Missouri. Scarlett Johansson reignited the topic of whether or not actors and actresses should be playing characters that those in the minority would be better suited for, specifically whether or not she should have played a trans man in the movie Rub and Tug. What are your thoughts on the issue?
I'm staying out of it.
Yeah, I think I might too.
Yeah.
Things naturally change. You know, you think about back in the 30s when white people were cast as American Indians or Chinese, and that doesn't happen anymore, so progress happens, despite the fact that there sometimes are people who want to stop progress.
Nice card. Is this homemade?
Chris and Tom send this from Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee. They went to Graceland.
Yes.
So an incredible number of musical landmarks. With films such as Nashville, Coal Miner's Daughter, and even the most recent A Star is Born, it seems like most people I know are much quicker to listen to a film's country or southern music than real-life singer-songwriters. Any thoughts on this? Well, considering that a lot of this music that's written just for films is written by T-Bone Burnett, who is probably one of the greatest living songwriters currently, I'm not surprised.
If not written by him, curated by him, like the music in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? He chose all of that for the Coens.
Yeah. Also, country music in movies is kind of throwback music to back to when country music was good. There's some good indie country that's going on right now, but for the most part, it still kind of sucks. Okay, let's open some of them packages.
All right, you take the manila.
It's from Alexander Hawk. I sense a DVD. Wait! 2 DVDs.
This one is from Australia, and I don't need to sense it because it says right here, record book buttons. I think I know where this is from.
Well, first of all, we've got Leslie Nielsen as Mr. Magoo. I'm curious about this. Don Adams in The Nude Bomb.
Ah, yes, that is the sequel to the Get Smart TV show. Buttons. 3 different varieties of buttons.
I count 4.
4? 1, 2. They are. Sorry, they're shades of gray. We have a postcard. See if you can figure that out. Sorry, I go for the head.
It looks like a map.
It does look like a map. That's what's so confusing. Hiya, Matt, Craig, and Tona. Hiya. Found this album on cassette tape at my local library about 30 years ago, and it provided Lexi and I with hours of pleasure, both for the jokes and that kind of nerdy enjoyment of having discovered something. I'm sorry, I'll read that again. Seems like some sort of BBC thing that John Cleese and other people were involved with.
Oh, yeah.
Once upon a time.
Bill Oddie Oh, Tim Brooke Taylor, yeah, he and Cleese did a bunch of stuff together.
Some of the jokes have aged into oblivion, but the Taming of the Shrew still holds solid. We have The Koala Who Could. More Australian children's books.
We've got some fan art. It comes from Sindra Finney, who's putting out a webcomic called Dog of Death. Take a look at it there. It looks like a normal little street scene, but if you look closely at that marquee, the movie's called The Return of Stu. Right next to it is a store called Beer and Board Games. And if you look really close, there's 4 guys sitting at a table. It's you and me and Jason and Aaron from the Fiasco episode of Beer and Board Games.
Classic.
So thank you, Sindra. Best of luck with your webcomic.
Yes.
It's at this point we answer viewer questions. I have several questions that have been on my list for a while, and I have short answers for them, so I will be answering 5 viewer questions.
I do not have a question. I have a customer comment. A couple episodes ago on Scene It, we talked about War of the Worlds. Tim L. writes this. I must weigh in on 1955's War of the Worlds. In one respect, sound design. To my mind, it was the scariest thing about the invading aliens. Their insect chirp like cicadas that surrounded you unseen on a summer night. I did not realize why I always associated the sound of those insects with aliens.
Yeah.
Whenever I heard them, ever since I was a little boy, I thought, this is what a UFO would sound like.
All right, 5 questions. Here we go. Dan Frederick, what is your favorite foreign film country? I don't have one. I select films on a film-by-film basis, not based on what country they come from, but it's a good question.
Japan.
Tabby Barnes, will you all be doing any public speeches or events this year that we may catch you all at? No. Michael Flesh, do you like anime? I don't dislike or like anime. I, once again, choose films on a film-by-film basis. I like the films of Miyazaki.
I like various anime films, but I do not seek out anime films.
Dan Wormsbacher, what was your favorite menu item at Ella's Deli? Personally, I went Reuben, extra kraut, every time. At some point, I discovered that their deli makes really good chopped liver. Unfortunately, I discovered that about a year before they closed, so I only had it a couple times. Stephen Moore, do you still have Gadget Dude? Where does he live? Of course I still have Gadget Dude. Why would I get rid of Gadget Dude? It's a super dude that was created especially for me. He lives on that shelf over there right above Craig's head. It's my shelf of various treasures from over the years and also lots of cobwebs and dust.
NRA took my baby away.
Ring your level and done for the rest.
Rum. They're straight up jigging.
Bottle of rum! Bottle of rum, you old hag!
He is a rum enthusiast. He subscribed to Rum Aficionado magazine. I've got the pain in my head bone.
Well, they wanted something up in his chest upstairs.
He definitely went to the Little Rascals School of Acting and Diction.
I own a little sailor's tavern up here, and I can make salt pork taste just like roast pheasant.
I used to own a chain of fish and chip restaurants all across the land.
Lost his ear defending a woman.
Lost his ear when he was a cop in Los Angeles to a man named Mr. Blonde.
Oh, but I'd rather be forward with you.
That boy's got resting pout face.
I'm glad you like Dr. Livesey. He's not a sailor, of course, but he can cut you open and sew you up again.
Unfortunately, he cuts you open when you're not sick. He's a vivisectionist. Don't hoit the Boyd. Is that Rasputin in the background? Rasputin? Is that Steve Buscemi in the background?
Yeah.
Is that Jeremy Irons in the background?
And I'll see you all to Davy Jones.
You'll arrive there via the last train to Clarksville.
Ben's got another trick in his beard.
Beard? Cave?
Who? Ben? Gone? Ben?
Ain't that terrible? He's left to guard a ship, and there he lays in a drunken stupor.
Stupor. And now's the time on Unboxing when we talk about an old episode and we say, hey, you should go check that out. Check it out for the first time, check it out again. And I'm going to recommend Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice, a movie that tormented my parents when they were young, when they first met, because they were Bob and Carol Johnson. It's a peek into late 60s culture, and it's a movie that I don't think most people would want to sit through, but it's definitely gives you a solid idea of what that movie's about.
We get sent records in our P.O. box, and when we get them, I try to listen to them. And I've got a couple here I want to talk about. The theme for today is bad band names. They can still make good music, but sometimes their choice of names is not great.
Flying Burrito Brother Syndrome. I understand.
First off, we have the Blake Babies. I'm not sure what these two words have to do with each other or with the music that this band creates, but I did listen to this. This is Juliana Hatfield's first band?
Maybe everyone are bastard children of Robert Blake.
This is 1990, so it's pre-grunge, but it sounds pretty grungy. If these guys were from Seattle, I wouldn't be surprised that they were making that kind of music before it broke in the mainstream. The person who sent this, who I believe is associated with Thomas Alva Epley, said that she plays it to cheer herself up. And I can see that.
Rainy day music for sunny days.
Four-stroke Baron. Somewhere there was a room with a band in it, and someone said these three words, and everyone in that room said, yeah, that'll be our band name. This is very heavy music. It's not heavy metal, but it's got that really, like, double bass, like, that kind of... It kind of reminds me of the band Sleigh Bells, but unlike Sleigh Bells, this music doesn't pop. It's all very muted. It's like a wash of sound, sort of like My Bloody Valentine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like that. So even though it's very percussive, you don't get that kind of pounding like you would listen if you were listening to a Metallica record. Four-stroke Baron. Maybe Baron is the title of the album. That's not a very great name either.
But Baron would be an okay title for a band.
Why would you have the artwork be this deliberately confusing and then it's not printed anywhere else? Maybe it is. Maybe it's on the side.
If you're a Baron fan, you'll be able to tell.
Yeah, it's called Planet Silver Screen.
What? I normally don't say stuff like this, but screw you guys. Never been so upset by an album I've never listened to.
Two more packages. Let's do it.
And I'll quick do this one up.
This is from our good buddy Aaron from Hell's Kitchen. We've got R.I.P. Bruiser Brody. He will always be King Kong Brody to me. I'm sure it's the same guy.
Maybe the character is something that was shared by people back when there were circuits.
Yeah.
Something that they passed from one to the next. Oh, this is from T.A. Epley, LP album from the Bizarre Mind of Lee Hazelwood.
Oh.
He wasn't making Nancy Sinatra or Graham Parsons something. He was having tips with his something. See, it's cut off here. Ignore the song intros, and it's quite fascinating.
Oh, song intros. Ugh.
Maybe that's why I never got into rap music. We got Black Licorice as well.
Hey, Marvis.
Marvis. I'm happy that Black Licorice these days tends to just accept the fact that it's old-timey candy. And so they make these boxes that look ancient.
Yeah.
Lee Hazelwood, Requiem for an Almost Lady.
That's not a great album title.
No, but this isn't a great back album cover either.
No, that's terrible.
Is that supposed to be an almost lady? Because it's clearly a man. I don't even know if it's Lee Hazelwood. Because this is him with a mustache, and this is him... I don't know what's going on.
Everything about this confuses me.
Yes.
But I like Lee Hazelwood, so I'm looking forward to listening to it.
Some velvet morning when I'm
Straight. We've got an envelope for Craig.
I took a trip recently to Nantucket. I visited both bookstores, the Nantucket Bookworks and Mitchell's Book Corner. I was also there for the Nantucket Film Festival. Here is some paper ephemera from all that. Enjoy. Here's a family-friendly version of... There once was a man from Nantucket who kept all his clams in a bucket. His daughter, named Nan, ran away with a man. And as for the bucket, Nantucket. Okay.
Nantucket.
Oh, Nantucket! Okay. Here is the ephemera from the film festival. Bookworks is one of my favorite bookstores in the world. I had a strange postcard correspondence with the members of that bookstore years ago. I don't know if anyone there remembers the postcards that I used to send and that one of them used to send back to me, but I hope everyone at Bookworks is doing well.
Matt, enjoy these 4 LPs.
4!
And right here, I'm excited about this. Mike Nichols and Elaine May, Improvisations to Music. I don't have this one.
Oh, you don't?
No. Another comedy record, original Broadway production, A Party with Betty Comden and Adolph Green.
They wrote Singing in the Rain. The movie.
I'm sure this is humor that perhaps hasn't aged well, but who knows? LBJ in the Catskills. This is a classic Bob and Doug McKenzie, Great White North. Goo, 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 goo.
Take Off to the Great White North. I've never listened to this album. I always wanted to when I was a kid. I was so happy whenever that song would come on the radio. Back when they would play novelty songs on the pop stations.
Sure. They're 12 Days of Christmas. Is that what you're talking about?
Take Off.
Well, they also did a 12 Days of Christmas,
Yeah.
which I think is
Yes.
on that LP.
12 Days of Christmas, yeah. But Take Off. To the
With
great
with Geddy Lee.
Geddy Lee, yeah.
Yeah. The Basement is a mess, which is just how I like it, because that means that we have just done the unboxing show, and now it's over. You can watch the next episode of Welcome to the Basement this coming Friday, and now you can watch this.
Them as boarded a Spanish brig all loaded down with Castilian dons and their beauteous ladies. And what did they do?
Is he telling a joke?